They say a person's hair is not just hair. In Africa, our elders taught us that hair carries your spirit, your essence, your glory, that every strand knows your story. When you cut it, you cut a piece of yourself. And if you leave it behind carelessly, another hand might pick it up, tie it in the dark, and whisper words that can turn your blessings into their own. But the people of Umeze forgot. And when they forgot, evil remembered them. Umeze was a peaceful town, the kind where everyone knew everyone. But peace is fragile. It takes only one man to change everything. His name was Chijoke, handsome, quiet, and strangely charming. No one knew much about him, only that he had lived in the city for years and suddenly came back with money, enough to open a beautiful new salon in the Santa town. He called it Fresh Glory Courts. The name alone should have given them a clue. Instead, the name drew people in. The salon had everything: bright mirrors, scented sprays, music that played from Bluetooth speakers, and an air conditioner that hummed quietly like a sleeping snake. Everyone wanted to experience this new modern luxury. Men left the old barbers, boys saved up pocket money, even women came just to line their edges and shave the back of their necks. Chijioke smiled, welcomed them all, and cut hair with gentle hands. But what nobody noticed was this: he never swept the floor during the day. Each time someone asked, he would laugh and say, I like to clean when the day's work is over. It keeps my shop fresh. But when night came, people walking past his saloon saw the lights flicker faintly and sometimes heard whispers, voices that didn't sound human. Hmm. One Friday evening, a university student named Obina came home from school. He had gotten a job offer abroad and wanted a clean haircut before his big trip. He entered the Fresh Glory Court smiling. Chijioke greeted him warmly. My guy, na fine boy you go be for that your Oyibo land oo. He cut Obinna's hair carefully, using a shiny clipper that hummed louder than normal. When he was done, he sprayed perfume and dusted his shoulders. Obinna paid, thanked him and left. That night, Obinna began to feel dizzy. He couldn't sleep. His body felt weak, his chest heavy. By morning, his mother found him sitting by the window, eyes open, breathing, but gone inside. The doctors couldn't explain it. They called it a coma. People murmured, then moved on. But 3 days later, another boy, Somto, a footballer, cut his hair at the same salon. 2 nights later, he fell while training, screaming that his head was burning. He never walked again. Still, nobody connected the dots. How could a clean, friendly barber be the cause of evil? Hmm. Across the street from Fresh Cuts lived Ada, a tailor known for her bold voice and good heart. She loved stories, but she never believed in superstitions. That one night changed. She dreamed she was inside the salon, empty, dark. Hair covered the floor, but it was moving like waves. Each strand rose slowly, turning into tiny human faces. Faces of men, women, children, whispering, help us, help us. She woke up sweating. The next morning, she told her friend at the market, I had a strange dream about Chijeke's saloon. Hair was talking. Her friend laughed. Ah, Ada, it's just a dream. Maybe you're stressed. But that same evening, she heard something shouting outside. Obinna had died. She froze. The same face she saw in her dream, one of the whispering faces, was Obinna. From that day, Ada became observant. She noticed things others didn't notice. Every night, when the town was quiet, she saw a light flicker in the saloon. Sometimes it was white, sometimes red. Curiosity got the better of her. She hid behind a big palm tree opposite the shop. The clock struck midnight. Inside, she saw Chijioke sweeping the floor. But he wasn't just sweeping. He was collecting the hairs carefully into a white bowl, pouring something like palm wine and powder, whispering strange words. Then she saw three men knock on the back door. They wore black clothes and cap. Chijioke gave them small calabash wrapped in black nylon. The men nodded, paid him, and left. Hmm. Ada's heart pounded. She pressed her hand to her mouth to stop a scream. As they drove off, she heard him chant, "Heirs of kings and slaves, glory of the young, rise and follow me." Eh! The ground trembled. A strong wind blew across the streets, and Ada felt like the night was watching her. She ran home. The next morning, Ada went to the old priest of the town, Papa Mukocha. She told him everything. He sat silently for a while, eyes closed, then said softly, "My daughter, do you know why the old ones used to burn our hair or bury their hair after cutting it?" "No, Papa." "Because hair carries your name in the spirit world. Whoever holds it can call you by that name, and when they call, your spirit will answer." He sighed deeply. The world has changed, Dada. The young have forgotten the ways of their ancestors. Some men now trade in glory, selling destinies for power. The barber shop is not just a business, it's a market of spirits. Ada trembled. "Father, what can we do?" "Do nothing yet. Watch, but don't go near him alone." A few weeks passed. Then something strange happened again. A 10-year-old boy named Ifeanyi went to cut his hair after school. He never came home. His slippers were found outside the saloon, but the shop was closed, lights off, padlocked. The next day, Chijioke told police he didn't know anything. They searched and found nothing. The case was dismissed, but whispers filled the town. Some say they saw the boy's reflection inside the saloon mirror at night. Others swore they heard a child crying whenever they passed by the door. Ada couldn't sleep. The child's voice haunted her dreams. That week, a heavy storm hit Umeze. Wind tore through roofs, lightning struck trees. But in the middle of the storm, only one place had light: fresh glory cuts. Through the rain, Ada saw shadows moving inside. She saw faces pressed against the glasses, and she heard faint but clear the sound of scissors snipping in rhythm. Snip, 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 snip. She whispered, "Oh God, what is this?" And then lightning flashed. For a second, she saw Chijioke's reflection in every mirror, dozens of him, all smiling, all bobbing invisible head. When the thunder clapped, everything went dark. The next morning, the ground around the saloon was wet, but there were footprints of bare feet in the mud, leading away, disappearing into the bush. Ada knew she had to tell the town. The morning after the storm, Ada could no longer hold it in. Her hands trembled as she walked to the place of the town chief. The elders were there, sipping palm wine, arguing about the storm. When Ada arrived, she bowed and said, "Chiefs of Umeze, please listen. Something evil is amongst us. It lives inside the barber's shop." They all turned. Chief Okorie frowned. "Eh? What are you saying, Ada?" She told them everything about the midnight sweeping, the buyers, the calabashes, the chants. The elders looked at one another. One old man whispered, "In my youth, I heard of this kind of spirit market. They call it Okwizi, the trade of heads. But that was long ago. The chief rubbed in his chin. This is serious. We cannot act in fear. We must see with our eyes. So they decided to send two brave young men to watch the salon that night. They didn't know they were walking into the jaws of darkness. At midnight, Emeka and Nonso, both hunters, hid near the salon. The street was quiet, too quiet. Then they saw the door open slowly on its own. No one inside, no footsteps, just the creak of the hinges. Light poured out, red like fire. Inside, mirrors glowed and reflected moving shadows. A low hum filled the air, like a choir whispering in tongues. Noso's heart raced. He said, "Let's go." But Emeka whispered, "Wait." Suddenly, the mirrors began to show faces, not their own, the faces of the missing boy, Obinna, Somto, and others, all crying silently. Then from nowhere, Chijioke appeared in the reflection, holding a clipper, dripping with dark liquid. He said calmly, "Why hide, my friends? Everyone comes here one day, even you." The door slammed shut. The hunters ran for their lives. By morning, they both had white patches in their hair, like someone sucked the color away overnight. Papa Mochokocha called a meeting at the church. He told the people, "This is no ordinary man. He deals with forces of shadow. We must confront him, but not with weapons of iron, only with faith, light, and the strength of truth." He began preparing spiritual items: salt from the old river, palm fronds from purity, ashes from burnt hair to break the tie between hair and spirit, and a small bell blessed with ancestral prayer. Ada joined him. Her hands still shook, but her heart was ready. That night, Papa Mokocho gave her a charm, a white stone tied with thread. "Keep this close. If the wind turns black, hold it to your chest and call the name of your creator." He smiled weakly. "The night will be long, my daughter." That night, Umeze held its breath. No dogs barked, no rooster crowed. Papa Mokocha, Ada, and five strong men went to the saloon. The door was locked, but the mirrors inside shimmered, though no light was on. Papa Mokocha poured the salt around the building and began to pray in deep Igbo chants. "Ihe ọjọọ agaghị ebe ebe anyị na-ahụ. Evil shall not dwell where we stand." Then the door burst open. Inside, they found the floor covered with hair, thousands of strands, moving as if alive. The smell of burning oil filled the air. In the center stood Chijoke, or what used to be him. His eyes glowed yellow. His smile was twisted. Around him floated bowls filled with air, and in each bowl a faint face of someone from the village. He spoke, voice echoing like 10 people at once. "You burn your hair in fear, but I collect it in power. They bring their glory to me willingly. They sit in my chair, open their heads, and I take their lights. I am the Barber of Shadows. And you," he pointed at her, "you saw what was not meant to be seen." The bureaus cracked. The air became cold and thick. Ada fell to her knees, holding her charm. Papa Mokocha rang his bell. Each sound echoed like thunder. The calabashes began to tremble, spilling hair across the floor. From the hair rose spirits, half formed, crying, stretching their hands. They cried, "Free us! He tied our glory!" Chijoke screamed, covering his ears. He began to chant in a strange tongue, and the ground shook. Then he lifted the clipper high. Lightning flashed from it, cutting across the mirrors. Ada crawled forward, grabbed a bowl, and poured the holy salt inside. The hair hissed and turned to dust. "In the name of light, release them!" Suddenly, all the mirrors shattered at once. A deafening crash. The spirits of the victim flew out, swelling like a storm. They circled Chijioke, whispering the same word he had chanted. Hair of kings and slaves, glory of the young, return to your owners. His body began to burn from inside. His voice turned into a stream that echoed for miles. Then silence. When the smoke cleared, the salon was empty. Only Chijioke's melted clippers lay on the floor. When dawn came, the people of Umezi gathered. The once beautiful salon was now a heap of ashes. But something strange happened. Those who had fallen sick began to recover. Somto walked again. Obinna opened his eyes. The missing boy's spirit was smiling in his mother's dream, waving goodbye. Papa Mokoja said softly, the dead have gone home and the living have been freed. But the town would never be the same again. Days passed. Ada could not forget what she had seen. She sat by her sewing machine one evening and told a group of young girls, my sisters, don't ever leave your hair lying carelessly in the salon. Burn it, bury it, but never abandon it. Hair is more than beauty. It carries your light. They laughed at first, but she only smiled because she knew the truth. At night, when she closed her shop, she still heard faint snipping sounds in the distance, like scissors in the wind. But each time she heard it, she whispered, not again, and she poured salt across her doorsteps. In our land, every story carries a warning, and this one reminds us, never mock the ways of the ancestors. The hair on your head is not just decoration, it is a thread that ties you to your destiny. So the next time you sit in a barber's hair and see your hair fall to the ground, remember Umeze, remember the Barber of Shadows, and take your glory home with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like, subscribe and share button. I'll see you in my next video.